This is Kelly Phillips for paperbeadrollers.com. I've noticed my eyesight has been getting worse when I'm doing close-up work. So I picked up a pair of reading glasses from the store and have been using them when making paper beads and working on jewelry. They really help, but I find myself taking them on and off a lot and setting them down in various places around the house and promptly forgetting where I set them. So I decided my next project had better be an eyeglasses cord. I picked up these eyeglass cord ends at Joann Fabrics. They're pretty basic. You can get some from any store or online, and I can link you to some on Amazon in the description of the video. These particular ones, they're not the tightest things in the world. They do slip off my glasses quite a bit. I'm basing the design of this project around these gorgeous check fire polished beads that came in the October dollar bead box subscription. They're called Crystal Metallic Lavender, and they are beautiful. They're 7mm, so they're perfectly sized for a cord that will be alternately hanging around my neck and up by my face when my glasses are on. Now to decide which paper beads I'm going to use for this project. I don't know about you, but I have what I call my bead bin. This is a rapidly growing collection of random paper beads. Some are the result of experimenting with different shaped paper strips. Some are leftovers from other projects where I didn't have enough beads for a second project, so I just tossed them into the bin. Today we're going to go through the bead bin and choose a few beads to use with the metallic lavender crystals. These huge beads were made from poster board. I did not use the bead rollers from beadrollers.com to roll these things. They're way too large for any of those. I think I maybe have used a dowel rod to get them started. These ones are neat. I used these in a purse made from paper beads. I coated these with 4 coats of diamond glaze to make them super hard and durable. They started to feel and even look a little bit plastic-like before I was done. These ones were made from a cereal box that I cut up and painted with metallic paint. Cardboard makes for very chunky and satisfying beads. Here's some of the zebra beads from my pink zebra kit you can find in the store. I think something this size would look great with the lavender crystals. It's small enough that it won't bother me when it's hanging up beside my face. Ooh, here's some metallic beads. I like to make these with glitzy paper, which is paper that looks like glitter, but it's not. So it rolls a little smoother and it doesn't flake off. Here's some patterned cylinder beads I made when I first began working with paper beads. These are still sticking around. This bead is probably a little bit too long for the eyeglass cord project. The cord needs to be pretty flexible, so I think you need a bead that's not so long. Let's see what colors I can find in these small beads. Here's some pink. And here's some purple. I like the darker purple, but I think I like the lighter purple better. We'll take the darker ones out. Okay, I think I have a good mix of colors. Here's the design I've come up with for my eyeglass cord. We're using the metallic crystal lavender fire polished beads surrounded on each side by a silver spacer and then a paper bead. I may put a small silver round bead to cap each of these off. There'll be 3 on each side with a silver chain in between. Now that we have the design, we need to determine how much chain to put between each of our bead strings. And in order to know that, we have to know exactly how long we want the eyeglass cord to be. Using a tape measure around my neck, I figured out where I wanted the glasses to fall when I'm not wearing them, and it ended up being about 31 inches long from end to end. Let's break down the length of each section. I need 10 inches of plain chain to go around the back of my neck before I start with any beads. Then, each of the beaded sections will be approximately 2 inches, so let's add 12 to our calculation. The loops on the eyeglasses take approximately a ½ inch on each side, so that adds 1 inch to the total. That leaves me with about 2 inches of chain between each beaded section to bring the total length of the eyeglass cord to 31 inches. Perfect! Next, I'll divide up my chain pieces so when I do the final piecing together, everything is ready for me. I find that if I don't prep all of my pieces first, I tend to make mistakes while I'm fitting it all together. You can choose to cut your chain and toss the links you break, but I like to be sparing with my supplies, so most of the time you'll see me actually unlink sections of chain and then save any links I don't need for later projects. The chain I'm using for this project has two types of links in it. We'll call them a round link and a figure 8 link. For my section right by the eyeglass loops, I used one circle with a figure 8 on each side. For the other sections, I'm just using 4 ovals with figure 8s between them. So instead of measuring each piece of chain, I can just count the links, which is a bit faster. I've decided not to put a clasp on this piece. It's long enough that it can go right over my head. I find that much easier to deal with than doing and undoing a clasp all the time. Now we're ready to start stringing the beads. I'm going to put the bead sections for this project on 7-strand Beadalon stringing wire. The finished beaded sections will be about 2 inches long, but I need some extra to work with, so I'm going to cut about 4-inch lengths of wire. We'll also use wire guardians. These protect the beading wire from getting frayed. Since eyeglass cord is constantly moving and flexing as you take the glasses on and off, it makes sense to add a little extra protection to our loops so that the piece lasts longer and holds up to the wear and tear of everyday use. We'll need 2 wire guardians for each beaded section, so in this case we'll need 12 for our project. I also have some crimp beads ready to go to secure the loops after I put the wire guardians on. I'm going to pick up the wire guardian and thread the wire through the first side. Once it's in, bring it around the top and thread it through the other side. Now you have your loop and you can pull it tight. Be sure to leave a bit of tail. Now let's pick up the crimp bead and slide it into place. I try to keep the wires aligned straight next to each other so that they can be crimped tightly. I use these crimping pliers, although you can use your chain nose. These pliers create an indent, and so if you've lined your wire up properly, they each have their own side of the crimp and are nice and secure. Now let's string the beads. I'm putting this round silver spacer on first, and then we'll pick up each bead. The paper bead first, spacer, the crystal. Then another spacer, paper bead, and round silver spacer. Make sure your tail is tucked down into the beads, and we'll close up the other side. On this side, be sure to pick up your crimp bead first. Then you can thread the wire guardian through. I'll hold it with pliers this time so you can see it a little better. Stick your wire through one side and bring it around. Then put the wire through the crimp. I'm putting it through the spacer as well because it's easier to do it now than to do it after things are pulled real tight. Now I'll give the tail a little tug. You can grab that loop with your pliers to make it easier. And it's time for the crimp. Just give a squeeze and try not to flatten your wire guardian like I just did. And now you can clip and feed your tail down through the beads. Now when I did the purple section, my hands were off camera. So I'm going to show you how I connected the pink bead section to the chain instead. Just open the link up a small bit and thread the beaded section onto it. Be sure to close up the link nice and secure. Now we have all 3 of the beaded sections connected, and it's time to put the eyeglass loop on the end. This is going to be a little hard to see, but I'll do my best here. These particular loops are split ring loops, which means they're a little bit like a keychain. You have to pull the end open, thread your link on, and then run it along the loop until it falls into the middle. There you go, just like you're putting a key on a key ring. Once you get both of these on, you're ready to go. The entire piece is done. You can see I've got the eyeglasses loop, the 3 beaded pieces, the section that goes behind my neck, and then the other side. All that's left to do is put the glasses on the end. So this is it. Here's our project, the eyeglasses cord. These are my reading glasses, and I only have to wear them for close-up work like beading projects, but what would happen is I would take them off, put them down somewhere, and couldn't find them again. It's happening constantly. So now, when I'm done with them, I will just take them off, let them hang, and when I'm ready to pick them back up again, I know right where to find them. They're right here. Now you may want to notice that the top level of beads, that purple bead, is hitting right here around my neck if it's lined up properly. You're going to want to measure around your neck and see exactly, whoops, I just pulled it right off. See exactly where yours falls. Mine is 10 inches from purple to purple right here. The whole thing is 27 inches. So yours may be different depending on where you want your glasses to fall when they're off and where you want your beads to show up. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click that little bell so you get a notification when I upload new videos, and I will see you next time.